Are the Chiefs going to three-peat this year? It's looking like they might. And the Vikings are surprisingly really good even with all their injuries. I'm going to break down my top 15 teams this week, and we'll see what you agree with and what you don't. Let's get into it. So I've got this chart that I've made, and we're breaking down the top 15 teams. Now, with the top three, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. It's kind of no secret that they're the number one so far in the season. I mean, they've won two back-to-back Super Bowls. They're trying to three-peat, which will be the first time ever in NFL history. And they're just looking good, like whether they have a lot of stars or not. Even with Travis Kelce not playing well, they're still winning games. They're close games, but they are still getting out those W's. Now, with the second team, we're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills. Crazy stat with the Chiefs is that their record with Patrick Mahomes so far is 77 to 22. So they've won a lot of games with Patrick Mahomes in. But another crazy stat is out of 9 games that Patrick Mahomes starts, the Chiefs have always won at least 7 games. So it's an insane stat. The Chiefs, you cannot debate right now that they're not the number one team, in my opinion. Now, with the Buffalo Bills, they're number 2 on my list. They're undefeated so far. They've actually played pretty well, even though they've had some issues on offense with Josh Allen throwing interceptions and doing Josh Allen things. They have done pretty well at beating their opponents and finding ways to win. So until they start losing and start looking like they normally do in the past couple years, I'm going to leave them at number 2. Now, with the Vikings, I put them at number 3, and I know that's kind of controversial with all their injuries with J.J. McCarthy, and I know Jefferson was out for a little bit, but they've been able to figure out things. Sam Darnold has been playing really well for the Vikings, and they're looking like a legit team right now. And as long as they stay undefeated, I don't see why not they can't be on the very top of the chart. Number 4 on my list is the Green Bay Packers. Now, I know this is also a little controversial, but I really think that they're going to be a good team this year, even though Jordan Love has been out for the past couple weeks. They're finding ways to win. And Matt LaFleur has been an excellent offensive mind. He's been calling great plays. He's been making it so Malik can make the throws and win games. And it's been pretty impressive, so I got him at number 4. Now, with the Eagles, they're a good team. I just think that there are things or problems that you got to worry about with Jalen Hurts. He hasn't looked as good as he did when they made it to the Super Bowl last time, and I don't know what's going on with that, but he just doesn't seem as solid. But I did put them at number 5 just because they are playing well. There's no reason to think that they're going to be crappy this year, so that's why I put them at number 5. Now, number 6, we're going to talk about the Lions. Now, the Lions, Jared Goff, he's been struggling. He's had a lot of interceptions, especially in this past game. It didn't look great. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Lions, but they're looking good. So, and I really hope they can make the Super Bowl this year, just like the great run they had last year. Okay, now on number 7, we have the Texans. Now, they look good in their very first 2 games, but this last one was an absolute disaster. They were really struggling. Their offensive line had a lot of issues, and they had a lot of running back issues with some injuries and just not being able to get the running game going. But I still think the Texans will be a good team this year, even though they got destroyed by the Vikings, which, like we talked about earlier, the Vikings were predicted to be not as good, but they've been playing really well, and it was kind of funny to see how CJ Stroud kind of was like the vet in the game against the Bears, against Caleb Williams, and then it kind of flip-flopped with Sam Darnold doing the same thing to CJ Stroud at the end. I saw a lot of memes and it was really funny. Anyways, so on to the next one. Number 8, we have the Steelers. Now, the Steelers are undefeated, which is surprising. The Steelers are always a good team, but with their offense, it just was like, how are they going to look? Not sure. But they've been taking good steps forward. They've been playing well. Their defense is really good, and they're undefeated. So they deserve to be number 8, in my opinion. Now, with the 49ers, I put them at number 9, but I could see them going a little bit further down. They just have so many injuries. Christian McCaffrey is out. I actually just saw a report that it's possible that he could be out for another couple months. So who knows if he's even going to be able to play this year. Brock Purdy was dealing with some injuries. We had George Kittle with some injuries, and Deebo Samuel. They're just injury prone right now, and it's going to be really hard to keep going like they did last year with all their stars out. But they deserve to still be in the top 10, in my opinion, until they're proved wrong. Now, with the Steelers, we have them at number 10. Now, I know a lot of people don't like how the Steelers have been hyped up, but I really think they do look good. Yes, they did lose this past game, but they just didn't look the same after their star center went out. They couldn't get things going after, and they really struggled. But I think they can keep their momentum going if they can get those things settled. Before we get to the last 5 teams, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. It would be amazing if you could like this video, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. It always helps this channel. We want to grow this into something special, be a place where we can just talk football and get away from the real world. So please like and subscribe this video, and we'll see you next. At number 11, we have the Buccaneers. Now, the Buccaneers didn't have a great game in week 3. They lost their very first one of the season. Baker Mayfield had an interception that really hurt them in the game, and then they had some other turnovers happening later on, and they just couldn't get things going on offense. Their defense wasn't looking great. They couldn't get pressure or anything on Bo Nix, and so that was a huge struggle for them during the game, and that should have been a winnable game, but they lost, and that really hurt them. But I still think the Buccaneers will be better this year. They were good last year, and so that's why I've put them at 11, but we'll see. Now, with Washington, I think they're very intriguing. At number 12, I have them, and Jaden Daniels has over 70% completion percentage. He's leading the league right now with those statistics, and I believe he only missed 2 attempts in the Monday game, and that was a crazy game, high scoring, really fun to watch. Jaden Daniels, I think, is the real deal, and I think Washington has a really good chance of going far this year, but we'll have to wait and see. It's the beginning of the season, anything can happen, but I really like them right now. Now, at number 13, I have the New York Jets. Now, the New York Jets obviously have Aaron Rodgers. They have a stout defense, and their offense should be pretty good this year. They dismantled my favorite team, the New England Patriots, on Thursday of last week, and it was just painful. But the Jets look good. I think they have a real shot with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. We're just going to have to see with them because it is the Jets. They seem to always miss the playoffs no matter what. So hopefully this is their year. Number 14, I have the Ravens. Now, the record is 1-2, so I know that their record shows otherwise, but I really think they're going to turn it around. This past game, they really looked better on offense against the Cowboys. They were able to pull out the win, even though at the end their defense wasn't playing well and let the Cowboys kind of creep back in. But it's always great to see the Cowboys lose. It was a good game. So we'll just have to wait and see how the Ravens play for the rest of the season. But right now, I have them at number 14. Now, for the 15th team, I have the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks, I feel like, deserve to be up there right now. They're 3-0. They have not lost yet. Their competition has not been great, but they have proven to win them. It'll be interesting to see how Geno Smith does this year. And just with the Seahawks, you never know. My honest opinion is I think they're going to be worse later on in the season. But as of right now, since they're undefeated, I had to put them up there. All right, guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Was I correct with how I ranked these teams? Was I wrong? What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and I will respond to you, and we can have a conversation about it.